Hello and good evening. Today it is Wednesday, May 13th, 2020, and today as I'm filming this, the Los Angeles Rams have finally unveiled their new uniforms for the upcoming 2020 NFL season. Now, I will be doing a video on that, but here's the thing. Now today, first off, quick little initial thoughts from myself on their new uniforms. I don't like them at all. I really do feel that the Rams have screwed this up. But before I get to the Rams uniforms, I feel that I should add something to it all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually break this up into a two-part mini-series, where the first video that you're watching here is going to be about my thoughts on the Rams' new logo, and then I will do a separate video to discuss the uniforms in their entirety. So, without further ado, I'm going to share my thoughts on the Rams' new primary logo. Now, also note, I will discuss the secondary logo as well for sure, for anybody curious. So, this is their new primary logo. It is extremely mediocre in my opinion. It sucks. I'm just going to be honest. It sucks in my opinion. I think it's a joke. Now, obviously, I understand that this is supposed to be a ram horn with the letters LA behind it, or part of it, or because when I look at this part, it's supposed to be three-dimensional-ish. And when I first saw this logo, I was honestly for a split second thinking about the Chargers. Then I thought about a banana, and then I've even seen comparisons to a croissant. And honestly, guys, I don't like this logo at all. You've got this gradient here. You've got this royal blue line through the horn there to make it look more three-dimensional. You have the two separate shades of yellow and a little different hue over here, so make that 3. And then you've got the shadowing on the part of the white here to make it look more three-dimensional, so it looks like the ram horn is from the top above the letter A, where the top part forms the rest of the A for LA, but I'm sorry. But I think this new logo sucks. It is horrible. I mean, who thought this was a good idea? For Christ's sake. What an absolutely horrible choice. You know, guys, I'm going to be honest to you viewers out there. If this was just a secondary logo, this is how I would think about it. I would be like, okay, fine, whatever. But this is their primary logo. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is horrible. I can't believe how bad this is. And you know, something else that I noticed a lot of people haven't really said much, and I want to throw my 2 cents in on this as well. But I'm going to be honest with all of you watching this video. I find that this logo is extremely corporate looking. And ladies and gentlemen, that is certainly not a compliment on my behalf. I find this logo looks really corporate, and that's something else that really grinds my gears about it. You've got this stupid gradient, you've got this horn that either looks like a banana, and even for a split second when I first saw it for the very first time, I thought of the Chargers. Seriously, I'm not making that up. That was my first initial snap of a finger, split-second reaction. I mean, obviously I know this is the Rams' horn from their helmet with the letters LA for Los Angeles. I get that. But truth is, I'm not going to lie. I honestly thought for a split second when I first saw it about the Chargers. And I must say, if you are a Rams fan, in my personal opinion, this should piss you off. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to throw something else in here. I think this logo is missing 2 letters. Now, I apologize for the camera quality, but I think it's missing the letters M-E for lame. Because it is lame. I mean, it looks corporate. It's just ugly. I think it's just plain old ugly. And you know what? If it was the secondary logo, I would be thinking to myself, yeah, okay, whatever. Whatever, I can deal with it. But the fact that this is the primary logo and this ram head logo is the secondary logo, that's a joke. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's a joke. Now, speaking of the Rams' new secondary logo, to me it looks like a modernized ram head from they've taken the 80s ram head logo and they've modernized it. Now, notice the different shades of bright golden yellow here and the royal blue line through here to make the horn appear more three-dimensional with the different shades of yellow. And this is a very minimalistic design. There's very little in terms of the detail on the head of the ram here. And you know, I mean, is this logo horrible? In my opinion, no. But is it great? Honestly, I don't think it's that great. I'm not a fan. But if this was their primary logo and this was their new secondary logo, I would be a lot more accepting of these logos. But truth is, I think after the massively, and rightfully so, awful reaction that the Rams received from the fans and the public in general about this new primary logo, I would not be shocked, folks. I'm going to call it now. I believe within a year or so, we're probably going to at least see this logo get demoted to a secondary logo and see them promote this to their primary logo by 2022 at the latest. Now, I very well could be wrong on that, but at least that's what I'm hoping they'll do. And after the horrible uniforms they've unveiled today, by making their secondary logo their new primary logo, I do believe that would be a very good step in the right direction and a good way of righting this wrong that we're now going to have to deal with until at least 2025 when the Rams can change their uniforms again. I mean, it's frustrating. And if you're a Rams fan, I think you should be royally pissed. And supposedly, I've even heard that former Ram, Eric Dickerson, presented some ideas to the Rams as well. And I hear, and he's even openly said he's not a fan of this. And I tip my hat to that guy for speaking his mind. Because this new logo set stinks. I mean, the logo on the right, as a primary logo, I could live with it. Do I like it? No, it's too minimalist. I'm sick of this new minimalist design trend. Minimalist uniforms. Monochrome. One lighter color on a darker colored jerseys with no white for contrast. Stuff like that. I'm getting sick of some of this crap. Really sick of it. And I've been sick of it for a long time. But in the NFL's problem is a love affair with monochromatic uniforms. And I'm getting really sick of it. Blue jerseys with blue pants. There's a reason teams wear contrasting pants. For contrast. So the uniforms look way better from top to bottom. So now the Rams have this awful new primary logo that, in my opinion, looks extremely corporate. And they have this as a secondary, which is still, in my opinion at least, not that great. But it would be at least a workable primary logo. So yeah, I'm really hoping that the Rams are going to at least promote this to their primary logo within the next year or two. Because hopefully the Rams are going to start to listen to the fans finally and go, hey, let's try and make things right here. I mean, this logo here, I'm sorry folks, but I think it sucks. It sucks. Now obviously, some people are not going to agree with me on that. I respect your opinion, but I think it sucks. This one on the right, I'm not a lover of it. It's too minimalistic for me, but you know what? I could live with it if it was their primary logo. Now, speaking of that secondary logo, this photo was going around on Twitter from what I saw, and the logo on the right is a rendering that somebody took, or is an updated version of the logo on the left, their new secondary logo, and somebody took that logo and tweaked it. And to whoever that designer is, and I don't know who did this, but to the person who redesigned this logo and is showing their version on the right, you get a pair of thumbs up from me, because you know what? this is far better than the logo on the left. And at least it has some character. It actually has an eye. Gee, what a concept. It's much better than the one on the left. And truth is, the one on the right, I still think the head itself is a bit minimalistic for my liking. But the person who rendered that and tweaked the logo on the left, they did a great job. If that was their primary logo, I think most of us would be a lot more accepting of it. I would take this logo right here over this, and especially their new primary mediocrity or train wreck of a logo any day of the week. So whoever designed that, I don't know who did it, but they did a great job. And I wanted to throw that in because, you know what? I was for a logo that I don't care for fully, I think the person who tweaked it did a wonderful job. Now, speaking of things that are horrible, this is an alternate version of their primary logo. In my opinion, I hope we do not see much of this because this is even worse than the new primary logo. So, I want to go back and talk about this Rams logo here. Now, obviously, this logo was introduced when the Rams were in St. Louis, when they sadly went away from royal blue and gold for navy blue and metallic gold, which are uniforms that I've never cared for. But you know what? When the Rams first moved back to Los Angeles in 2015, they still had the navy blue metallic gold version of this logo. Then in, I believe, 2016, the Rams removed the metallic gold and went with navy blue and white until their new stadium was fully built and completed, which, for the record, I think it is now, and it's set to open later this year, eh? But yeah, honestly, I think this ram head logo is the best logo the Rams have ever had. And if it were me, I'd go like this, and I think even that is better than their primary logo. Way better. And I agree with people who say that, you know what, you could even color this in royal blue and gold and call it a day. I think that would be a big upgrade over their new primary logo. Now, truth is, their new secondary logo, I do like the shape of it a little bit more than this one. But it's too minimalistic for me. I'm not a fan. But it should at least be their primary logo if we're going to be stuck with their new crap for the next 5 years. Yeah, I said it. I do not like their new uniforms at all. Really disappointing. But yeah, this Ram logo here, they could have just done that. Maybe tilted him over a little bit. And that would have been good enough for me. But I must say, folks, I am really, really disappointed with what the Rams have done. I mean, the new secondary logo, it's not horrible, but I still don't think it's great, and it could be a lot better, as that one designer clearly has proven that it could be way better. But no. And you know, to see that there have been better logos made on social media than what the Rams have come up with is extremely embarrassing if you're the Rams. But I hope that they start to listen to the fans and distance themselves away from this logo and go to this one. Because thankfully the LA Chargers went away from their little LA Lightning Bolt logo that was a love child of the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Lightning of the National Hockey League. I mean, at least they went away from that. Thank goodness. But let's see what the Rams do, because as I showed earlier, well, I think it did. I think I did. I think this logo here on the left is missing the two letters M-E for lame. Because it is lame. Now, I've also heard rumblings how the Rams wanted to distance themselves from the St. Louis Rams era of the franchise and their time in St. Louis since 1995, which I believe they were there in St. Louis from 1995 to, or 1996, one of those 2 years until 2015. Or, sorry, 2014. No. Hang on, I think I've got my years wrong. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I'm having a brain fart here, but, you know, the Rams, you know, I understand the idea of wanting to separate themselves from St. Louis. I get it. But, you know, what frustrates me is that they could have done a way better job. You know, it really frustrates me that the Rams are so worried about distancing themselves from the St. Louis Rams, or from their time in St. Louis, that they just trash their uniforms. And it's ridiculous. So, here, I got my dates correct now. So, the Rams were in St. Louis from 1995 to 2015. And then they've been in Los Angeles since the start of 2016's NFL season. So, sorry for getting those years wrong earlier, but, you know, if you want to distance yourself from your time in St. Louis, all right, fine. But doing this as your primary logo and doing such a minimalistic secondary logo, and not even at least making this the primary logo, the Rams have really crapped the bed, and I'm not a fan at all. Now, to you viewers who may be watching this video, I'd love to hear people's opinions on this. I'm going to call it a wrap on this video now. My plan is to get to my video literally ranting and going on a real rant fest about their new uniforms, because I'm not a fan of what the Rams have done at all. Now, anyways, guys, for those of you who have watched this video for its entire duration, I hope that you have enjoyed this video if you have stuck around to watch it. And until my next video, you guys take care, and as always, folks, bye for now.